I remember the 80s being about Dallas, shoulder pads, Live Aid and having babies. But my next guest remembers it as the glory days for police against protesters. Conservative MP Andrea Jenkyns has called for more power for the police to deal with public disruptors. But this week, it's been members of the public being detained for assaulting Just Stop Oil activists. One of them was a vigilante workman videoed throwing them onto the ground. He was obviously trying to get to work. He was detained but later released without charge, thankfully. Police have urged the public not to take the law and order into their own hands, obviously, and similar consultations elsewhere. Joining me in my panel live from Leeds, it's Andrea Jenkyns. So, Andrea, we've all seen the footage. I was enraged when I saw that workman. Just like he drove up, he obviously was late for work, had a job to do, and I could feel his fury. If I was trying to get into this studio, or I was trying to get into the House of Commons, which I have been actually, and they stopped me getting into work, I would be absolutely furious. And I thought he was well within his rights to move them to the side and to drive through. I mean, obviously, legally, he isn't in this country. So what do you think we need to do about that to stop these people who actually have this week, I think, destroyed a garden at the Chelsea Flower Show, which was a sustainable garden? What do we need to do to stop these people from disrupting law-abiding citizens going about their daily work?
I mean, I completely agree with what you've said, Nadine. I mean, this is just crazy. I mean, I myself have struggled to get into work in London like you have into Parliament. And what I really found disturbing a few weeks ago when we saw that mother who couldn't get a child to school. You know, the knock-on effect on the public is ridiculous. I mean, the police already have the powers, but I just want to see them use them. I mean, they used them during the coronation. And I think we need to be stronger with protesters in the fact that, you know, if they're causing criminal damage, they pay for it. If they are, you know, stopping the traffic, then they need to be, you know, dragged off the streets, arrested and prosecuted. So we do have a lot of powers here anyway. And we've seen, as I said, they've used it during the coronation. So we just need to use it in every instance.
Well, let's look at how they deal with this in Germany. So they literally get a hold of the protesters and they move them to the side and they don't let them back onto the road. And they let the traffic through. Could we import some police from Germany into the UK? Would that be possible, do you think?
I think that's what we need to do, Nadine, and I'd like to see every police force across the country being stronger like that. After all, people pay their taxes. They want to feel safe, they want to feel protected, and the public have got a right to go about their everyday life, and these people are stopping it. And so they, as I said previously, you know, they should be hauled off the streets and arrested.
I'm just going to bring Emma in to comment on the protesters and the Just Stop Oil activists. Oh, yes. And what do you make of it, Emma?
The question I would throw back to you, we may be under a government you disagree with, even more than the one you disagree with right now, sometime soon. And you will want to protest, or people you know and love and care about will want to protest. There has to be a balance between stupid actions and peaceful protest. I think the balance is sometimes wrong when it comes to the Just Stop Oil protesters. I think their actions are unhelpful to their cause. But when you're arresting the head of Republic, that is unhelpful to the cause of democracy and peaceful protest.
I actually protest during Theresa May's time, and I did the walk from Sunderland, you know, cross-party, fighting for Brexit. So that was, you know, against my own government. But it was a peaceful protest. We were simply walking. We wasn't on the main streets. And so I've got no problem with protesting. We live in a democratic country. But to me, when they stop people actually going about their own business, being able to get their children to school, being able to get to work, damaging public property, throwing paint on things, then it's clearly not acceptable. You know, we need to use a strong arm of the law to arrest these people.
OK, Andrea, lovely to see you. Take care. Yeah.